Hi, today's video about the remedy Epithalon or Epitalon. So I made this video in an attempt to understand for myself, it is really a new anti-aging drug or just another hype. The Epithalon or Epitalon is a synthetic peptide, telomerase activator, and putative anti-aging drug developed by the St. Petersburg Institute of Bioregulation and Gerontology, which was identified as a putative active component of bovine pineal gland extract known as epithalamin. Here it is, its chemical structure. It's a relatively complicated substance. In internet you can buy 10 milligram. I want to show that it is only 10 milligram for injections for price $50 retail, or 16 pounds, and such already shop out of stock. Chinese producers can supply in bulk many bottles with a price for one bottle $6. But I want to show you again that it is 10 milligrams, so little. There is such nozzle spray is available also, that with the price 325 euro per 100 milliliter of the solution of this Epitalon or Epithalon, while the daily intake has to be 1 milligram, 1 milliliter of the solution. So such bottle will take you like 32.5 euro without delivery. Who is promoting this remedy or substance in Russia, for example, because it was developed in Russia? So this man, and he owns some shop, and he sells a number of remedies and medicine and drugs. So looking at this man, my opinion is, look, he is overweight, he suffers, he is certainly not looking young. If I would have access to some remedy which is really working for rejuvenation, I would try it on myself. But this man tries to present this remedy as something like secret medicine developed by Russians for military use, but it is actually all looking strange. So let's consider what was published by the developers of this substance in open literature, in scientific literature. So they claim, so this is a citation: study in aging rats demonstrated extension of lifespan for rats which were subjected to constant illumination or to natural light regimen typical of northern region. So if it is constant illumination, it is a high stress to rats, especially to aging rats. They cannot sleep. So the constant illumination produces high level of cortisol in rats, while it is suppressing production of melatonin. So no wonder the result. This is some publication about this substance in Russian, so I can translate a little bit. So what they were using, they take two groups of rats, and they keep them 24 hours under illumination or otherwise. Then they were first, so then they were separated to some groups, and one group was getting this Epitalon in dosage by injection, and another they didn't. So what was the result? Infection and viral illness, no improvement. In control group 15.8, and in with injections 13.7. So no difference, almost no difference between the immune system, strength of the immune system. but I would say they measured some improvement in cancer. So when a control group developed cancer in 1.73 probability, then the probability to get cancer in the group not getting the Epitalon is 1.02. So it's even not 2 times better result. So it is not improve. It is definitely there is some improvement, but not so much. Also, but in other publications, they claim that with permanent use melatonin and Epithalon, this or that, they don't claim it is or Epithalon alone, or it can be melatonin use, it can be Epithalon to this aging rats. This substance improves cognitive function of the brain. So then they concluded that this medicine, Epithalon, or actually melatonin together also, can be used as nootropic drugs in gerontology to reduce the damage of memories. Cortisol is a major age accelerating hormone, which is one chemical where the less is better. When we are stressed, our bodies produce cortisol and adrenaline in abundance. This is normal. This is a natural production of our evolution, because in case of stress, we have to be ready to fight or to escape danger. So it is working to save us in the moment of some emergency. But stress negatively influences to the synthesis of melatonin in the pineal gland, such attenuating so that attenuating the day-night variations of circulating melatonin. So in condition of stress during the day, at night melatonin is not secreted, is not produced, so this animals and will sleep not so well. And melatonin plays a role in body antioxidant defenses and helps to regulate blood pressure, body temperature, and cortisol level. So we see that at night we are getting secreted melatonin, but to the morning, starting about 5 o'clock, actually about 3 o'clock morning, we start to produce cortisol, and then the production of melatonin is suppressed because we are getting the peak of cortisol. It's not only melatonin is suppressing the cortisol production. If we get a DHEA substance, then cortisol and DHEA substance in blood are inversely proportional to each other. When one is up, the other tends to go down. And if you will recall my video, we discussed it already, that DHEA is in age, it is reducing. So this is why, in particular, why the older people sleep less, because they have too much cortisol. Cortisol is growing with age, and DHEA production is dropping. So the supplement of DHEA could help to produce not only a sexual hormone like testosterone, estrogen, but also to reduce amount of cortisol and to decelerate aging. So if we look at such diagrams, that okay, stress producing hormones like cortisol, glucagon, and adrenaline, and then it commands to liver to produce glucose from glycogen, from fatty acids, and also from amino acids. And with a high amount of sugar in blood, we're getting certainly some features which which correspond to aging. It is like lines and wrinkles on the upper forehead. It is thinning of the skin and sagging of the skin, especially under the eyes. It is some spots on the face. So, okay, this is more visible at this slide. So with a young lady in aging soul, that especially with high level of sugar in blood, it is so that her skin is losing elasticity, it is sagging, it is get some wrinkles. So you see that high content of blood of sugar is aging, is a factor of aging. So, but Epitalon and epithalamin is natural extract, and Epitalon is synthetic drug, appear to restore melatonin secretion by the pineal gland in both aged monkeys and humans. This is what they did experiment, and they observed the better production of melatonin while the animals and humans were injected with this substance. Another study on 79 patients suffering from coronary conditions. They improved physical endurance and they were sleeping better, and also metabolism improved. And in the treated group, relatively to the control group, after full 3 years of this treatment of injections of the injections of this epithalamin substance. So, and they measured also 28% lower rate of overall fatality, or overall the death rate reduced 28%, and some improvement in 50% lower rate of cardiovascular failure, the stroke. So actually it is quite visible. So if we are not sleeping well, we are not recovering, our body cannot recover during the sleep, and then we are aging very quick, and especially our heart is aging. So yes, right, we can use this substance, and it is equivalent to that. It improves production of melatonin. We know from previous videos that cortisol secretion is starting about 4 o'clock a.m. and it gets maximum about 7 o'clock. So this is a time when we have high glucose in blood. So this was a time I also discussed in previous videos. This is a time probably for physical exercises to use this elevated level of glucose in blood to produce some work for some exercises. So it is very, very good to use this time. But we also know that melatonin can be produced from amino acid tryptophan, which we get from meat mostly. Then it gets converted to 5-HTP. Next would be serotonin, and then in steps go to melatonin. Well, I have a video on my channel about my opinion about 5-HTP. I tried. Indeed, I was sleeping longer, but it was not easy. The sleep was a little bit disturbed, so I was not I was not calm during the sleep. So, but I changed this opinion that 5-HTP helps to sleep, because now I use it with GABA. This is gamma aminobutyric acid, and GABA aminobutyric acid has sedative effect on the brain. So if I use it, I can fall asleep relatively quick, and also it helps to extend the phase of this deep sleep when we get extraction, when we get growth hormone, and we recover our body. So together with GABA, 5-HTP work in dosage from 100 to 300 milligram per day. This is what I have to use. So taking 5-HTP dietary supplement before bedtime increases the secretion of serotonin and melatonin, and therefore reduces the cortisol levels. In addition, the GABA supplements at night promotes a deeper and calmer sleep and allows you to fall asleep faster. This is what I experienced. So we can look at this diagram. We used it before in the video to explain how HTP works. So we have amino acid tryptophan, then it gets converted to 5-HTP, 5-HTP, this substance. And this substance we also can get from China, for example, or even in pharmacy. It is not expensive. And then this 5-HTP will produce serotonin, and in some steps it may produce melatonin. And what we need this coenzyme A. Coenzyme A, also we discussed in previous videos. This is an important coenzyme in the synthesis and oxidation of fatty acids and oxidation of in the citric acid cycle. Citric acid side, it is oxidation of glucose. In humans, coenzyme A biosynthesis requires cysteine, vitamin B5, and adenosine triphosphate. So actually, these substances we have, if we consume the supplement as vitamin B5 as supplement, then it helps. It also helps to produce melatonin. The telomere elongation is not a mechanism for extending a lifespan. This idea was long ago, and it appeared to be not right. But it is rather a marker of biological age. We can see that with long telomeres, we are actually biologically younger. So, and what can extend our lifespan actually? It is the best way, it is eating low carbohydrate food to avoid spikes of insulin and sugar. Then to use intermediate fasting, so like eating once a day or twice a day maybe, but with some window of fasting. And also physical exercises are the most effective way to extend lifespan. And if we do so, we will definitely see elongation of telomeres, and this is the reduction of our biological age. So then you see that so far, if we follow diet restrictions like remove carbohydrates or limit it severely, and then use intermittent fasting and exercises, it is the best way, and it is almost free. Also, elongation of telomeres can be observed if we consume omega-3 fatty acids like from deep ocean fish. And if we are getting enough of vitamins A, B9, B12, and vitamin D and K. So B9 is folic acid actually, folic acid, and we can get folic acid with food, we can get it as supplement, and B12 also from meat, we can get it from meat and as supplement. So, conclusions I came to. The drug indeed enhancing the secretion of melatonin reduces the level of cortisol in the blood. This is the mechanism how it works. But this drug is extremely expensive. The minimum cost is $6 per 10 milligram, not gram, milligram, with daily intake by injection 1 milligram. So it is not with daily injection, the 1 milligram is solution to nasal spray or by injection. So it is actually, they use injections to, because if you take orally, you need 10, maybe 20 times more of the substance to get the same concentration in blood. Injections are more efficient in such way to deliver it to the blood. And but in comparison, the 1,000 gram of 5-HTP, this is the HTP, the substance which we need to produce melatonin, and we can buy this HATP, 5-ATP, for less than $80 per kilo. So per kilo, not milligram, per kilo. This includes free shipping. And while the recommended intake of up to 200 milligram, maybe 300 milligram before the bedtime. So we'll get almost the same result. So you see that my conclusion that it is so expensive, it is not worthwhile to use it to a long time, but somebody who has too much money can try. But I see many ways many other ways to increase melatonin production. You always even can take melatonin pills at night. The only problem with melatonin that it is working for a few hours only, and to sleep long you better use 5-HTP supplement, because 5-HTP supplement taken in much larger amounts, because if we take, for example, 200 or 300 milligram of 5-HTP, but during the night we make extraction, we make secretion of the melatonin, and we need for sleeping not so high dosages, maybe 3 milligram, maybe 2 milligram. So you see that 1% of 5-HTP can be used to produce melatonin from serotonin. Serotonin is mostly in our guts, but melatonin should be produced in our brain. This is a problem, some problem, because we have to deliver these substances to the pineal gland and to produce the melatonin. But again, if at night people were sleeping not well, they can take the pill at night about 3 o'clock. If they are not sleeping at this time, at 3 o'clock at night, they can take the pill of melatonin, a few milligram, and can sleep better. So far the secretion of serotonin will be suppressed by the oral admission of the melatonin. So okay, in this video I use some maybe information from other websites and some probably copyrighted materials, but as I have no commercial interest, I'm not getting any money from this. It is only for science, only for me to understand how it works, also to give information to my subscribers. So I do not violate the copyrights. And please remember that I am doctor in physics and with some interest in chemistry and biology. This is was my job since getting as a PhD in physics, and I cannot give any medical advice. And I express my opinion. I'm telling about my experience, what I'm doing, what is the result, because my goal is to get some rejuvenation, to live longer, to live, I don't know, 120 or maybe even longer years, and of course to improve my health, to be to make my immune system working properly, to not get infected with these viral infections like COVID-19, etc., etc. So, but I recommend you as to follow advice of your physician, of a personal physician if you have one, I didn't visit any physician for years. I mean, like 15 years, 15 last years. I never was ill. Never was getting any viral infections. Even if I'm exposed to some infections, I'm getting some symptoms maybe for hour or two, like sneezing, and then the next day it is all over. Absolutely no problem working with many people and who are sick, and I'm getting infection but recovered very quick. So, but okay, it's again only for information purposes. You decide for yourself what to do. So if you was patient enough to get to this end of the video, thank you for your time. Your support is much appreciated, and please comment, subscribe, like, ask questions, and share information. And have a wonderful day. So I believe this information important because this hype about some novel drugs, and it's always, and I am going to make a video about resveratrol. Resveratrol is also some fashion remedy which David Sinclair claims that it is very important for rejuvenation. I doubt so that it is important. Okay, so next time I will make a video about resveratrol. I don't take this resveratrol myself, and actually would never do it. I would never do it because I'm very suspicious about this action of the resveratrol. But my choice, as I was explaining in previous videos, it is to use to rely mostly on vitamin B3, B5, and the metformin combination with metformin. So okay, thank you again. Ciao.